This episode of the Old Dogs REI Network is brought to you by Mino Studio. Welcome to the Old Dogs REI Network, where cash flow is king. Real estate investing, the means, so you can enjoy your retirement dreams. This is the show where we cut right to the chase. No sales pitch, no long monologues, just simple how-to real estate investing advice, so you can earn the passive income you need to enjoy your retirement today. And now, your host and chief old dog, Bill Manassero.
Hello, old dogs, and welcome to
Fun Facts Friday.
This is our once-a-week, only on Friday show, where we have special episodes not featuring guests, where I will share tricks, tips, terminology, and techniques that will help skyrocket you to real estate investing success. Today's topic is real estate investing through crowdfunding sites. Which are the best sites? Well, before we get started, I'd just like to touch base with you guys again and see how you are doing. I hope that we've been bringing you some good content. We've been trying to give you a good variety. We had our series there, the 10 Steps to Real Estate Investing Success, trying to give a lot of foundational stuff as well as some things that you may not have explored yet. Real estate investing has many different strategies and ways to do real estate investing. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. I'm going to be talking about crowdfunding sites. Crowdfunding is something that came about with the Jobs Act that basically allowed people to invest like big-time syndication investments, but to be able to do it on platforms that allow both accredited and non-accredited investors to be able to invest even as low as $10 in real estate properties, and to be able to go in there and assess projects that you can become a part of. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it. And keep in mind, when I talk about the best sites here, this is really, the selection that I didn't evaluate myself because I have very limited exposure in the crowdfunding site, although I have been active. This is Investopedia's choice of some of the top crowdfunding sites for 2022. So I want to couch that with, hey, I didn't do it myself, so I didn't come up with the choices here. But hopefully it'll at least get you to look a little bit further. There are some great opportunities. I know a lot of people that are just pulling out of the market in droves here just because of how hard hit their 401ks and self-directed IRAs have been hit. So there are a lot of people looking to maybe put more of their investment dollars in real estate. So I am going to try to cover some of those options for you here. Well, let's talk about crowdfunding here. Real estate crowdfunding is a relatively new way to invest in commercial real estate. Some sites give everyday investors access to assets only reserved for the wealthy. Real estate investment platforms pair developers and other real estate professionals with individual investors who want exposure to real estate without the hassles of owning, financing, and managing properties. And also people that may not have enough to maybe invest in a syndication. While real estate crowdfunding is inherently risky, real estate investments can help diversify your portfolio and provide competitive returns. Now, Investopedia evaluated more than 24 platforms to find sort of their top picks for real estate crowdfunding sites, and here they are in alphabetical order. The top sites that they selected, actually, I'm going to wait until the end of this to give you the top sites. So I'm just going to give you a little background on crowdfunding first. So, just so we can get a background, right? Now, crowdfunding is a way to fund a project or venture by pooling small investments from a large group of investors. And so because crowdfunding, they have smaller contributors. You may have hundreds, maybe even thousands of investors in a project, but it does give you an opportunity to get the same kind of returns that you might get investing in a syndication, for example. The idea is that when enough people make small investments, it's possible to raise substantial amounts of money quickly. One of the most well-known crowdfunding sites is Gofundme, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. It's a platform used to raise money for everything from creative projects to medical bills. It was one of the first sort of crowdfunding. State crowdfunding, however, raises capital only for real estate investments. When developers or real estate professionals find investment opportunities, they may not want to fund the entire investment themselves, or they may not be able to. Thus, they turn to crowdfunding to let individual investors help finance the project. The process enables investors to invest in real estate without owning, financing, or managing properties. Now, some of the pros that are recognized here is real estate exposure without having to own, finance, or manage property. So in other words, it's a very passive way to get involved in, and yet to get some of the benefits, right? Such as a low minimum investment, so you can access assets that would be unaffordable otherwise. High profit potential through distributions and a lump sum return at the end of the investment, just like in a real syndication. And also automatic investing on most platforms. And I might add to that, you get higher returns in this crowdfunding than you would in some of the options out there in the stock market right now. Now, there are also cons here, and some of the cons are it's illiquid. Your money is tied up sometimes for at least 3 to 5 years. There's a higher risk than other types of equity investments. High fees. Some crowdfunding sites have higher fees depending on the platform and investment you choose. And some opportunities may only be for accredited investors. So how does crowdfunding work in real estate? Real estate investment platforms connect investment opportunities with funding. Most real estate crowdfunding deals with a sponsor, just like you do with the syndication, a crowdfunding platform, and investors. Here's a quick rundown of how it works. The sponsor is the individual or company responsible for the project. The sponsor acquires, manages, and sells the investment. The crowdfunding platform connects the sponsor to interested investors. It explains deals to potential investors, handles regulatory issues, and collects money from the investors on behalf of the sponsor. And I might even add some crowdfunding platforms, they don't just take anybody. They do have to qualify the people that are on their platform because they don't want their investors to be burned, right? So the investor contributes to the project's funding in exchange for a share of the profits. Now, how do you get started in crowdfunding? Well, crowdfunding platforms connect sponsors and real estate investors. To get started in real estate crowdfunding, research the various crowdfunding sites to find an opportunity that interests you, whether there's an individual property or a fund that owns dozens of properties. Close attention to the platform's vetting process for deals as well as its sponsors. The top platforms employ high levels of due diligence to make sure that sponsors and any deals offered by the sponsors have been rigorously evaluated. Can you crowdfund in commercial real estate? Yes. Real estate crowdfunding platforms give individual investors access to commercial real estate projects, such as hotels, apartment complexes, medical complexes, self-storage, and retail. Without crowdfunding, these large-scale investments would otherwise be unaffordable to most individuals. Now, can you make money from crowdfunding? Well, let's hope so, or I wouldn't be talking about it. But yes, there is potential to earn competitive returns in real estate crowdfunding. The platforms Investopedia reviewed boast annual returns ranging from 2% to nearly 20%. Still, real estate crowdfunding is considered a risky investment. Just like the stock market, there are no guaranteed returns, and you could lose your entire investment. And that's the same with syndication. You need to keep that in mind as well. In addition, depending on the investment, and unlike the stock market, your money may be tied up for years. Real estate investment platforms connect investors with investment opportunities. So you carefully research the crowdfunding platform, the sponsor, and opportunity before investing any money. Just like you were going to go into a syndication, you would want to research the person, the sponsor that's putting it together, the operators, the people behind it. You want to look at track records, and you should have access to that information through the platform. If you don't, then I would move on to one where you can research and look at people's track records. Now, how do you choose the best crowdfunding sites? Well, to choose a top crowdfunding site, I would say there are a number of factors you want to look at. You want to look at things, and it depends on your particular interest too and what your investment goals are. But you're going to look at things like investment minimums, platform fees, what kind of fees are they charging through the crowdfunding platform, total number of investors, total investor dividends, historical annual returns, reinvestment opportunities, website transparency. How easy is it to find platform fees, minimums, and redemption options? Better Business Bureau ratings, and educational offerings as well. So, good platforms are going to give you all the tools you need to make good decisions, including lots of excellent articles, maybe even little webinars and training that'll teach you how to be a more proficient investor. As I mentioned, this was Investopedia that did this research. They looked at each company's reputation, including average monthly search volume, recent news, customer reviews, and complaints, to ensure that the platform is well respected and legitimate. So again, this is their criteria, not mine. They looked at, but these are the ones that they came up with. Okay, it's 6 different crowdfunding sites that they recommend. Best overall, CrowdStreet, and there will be a link in our show notes to each of these so that you can check them out on your own. Best Reit options, so real estate investment trust option, where you can buy REITs, which are different than some of the offerings that they have where they have a project that you invest in. REITs usually have a combination of different projects in that REIT. Diversifund, that's their best REIT option. Best for institutional commercial real estate. So you might want to look at office buildings, or you may want to look at self-storage or some other types of real estate. Equity Multiple is the crowdfunding company that they recommend. Best for beginners, Fundrise. Best for investing in loans, Peer Street. And the best property research, Realty Mogul. Now, I'm not sure if Realty Mogul is around anymore. I thought they might have closed down, but nonetheless, their name was on here, so you can check that when you click on the link, right? But those are the ones that they recommended. There are a lot more out there, and I would not say that necessarily that their choices are going to be the best choices, but it gets you a place to start from, and you can do your own research to find other platforms. There are we've even had a guest on. You can look under crowdfunding, do a crowdfunding search on our website, and at the olddogsreinetwork.com, you can look up gentleman there that goes through and monitors and rates and evaluates as well on some crowdfunding. And we've had some guests on that are CEOs of crowdfunding, and there are many different types. Not all of them are necessarily research oriented. We've had some folks on there, their whole focus is loans that you can invest in the actual deeds themselves. There's a lot of different ways that you can generate income from these crowdfunding sites. So I hope that's helpful for you. If you have any questions, please, let us know, and we'll address them as we move forward here. So that is it for today. Please note everything I talked about here, including these links that I talked about, are available at the Old Dogs website at olddogsreinetwork.com/blog. And you're going to look for the episode entitled Real Estate Investing Through Crowdfunding Sites. What are the best sites? Well, that's the show for today. Remember, cash flow is king and real estate investing the means. Until next time, keep moving forward and may God bless.
Thank you very much for visiting the Old Dogs REI Network. We would greatly appreciate if you would stop by iTunes and let us know what you think of the show. We would love if you could subscribe to the podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and write a review. The more ratings and reviews we receive, the more visible the podcast will be to others. Thank you.